I guess I didn't get the
I'm
rest
waiting
of it.
waiting on it to pop up here.
I did.
Let's see.
Could have swore. This is it. This is it.
There we are.
Chris Jack smoked that one. He said he won't raise his head up. I said, you tell me when you're ready to bust him. And he said, all right, whenever. And I went, what? That dude.
Pop that head up real quick,
Yeah,
y'all.
yeah. Did you hear Chris? He was cussing. The gun, he pulled the trigger and he never forgot to turn the safety off. Yeah, and so when he shot it, jerked, and you can hear him cussing on there. And so then he had to push it up. But the turkey never looked up.
So
I mean,
saw
it
when
ain't
he
no
was
fun.
shooting 835?
Yeah, it wasn't no fun to hear that door at you.
Really? Well, I had a Mossberg 835 that would knock the filling out of your teeth when you shot it. I
Yeah.
sold it in the duck line.
Oh, yeah. Let me show you this. The Glenn the other day, you know, he shot his bird with my gun. So as soon as he pulls the trigger, Omar! Well, when I saw him at Ford Place just a while ago, he said, man, look what that thing done.
Well, he didn't have it. Don't look at his
Yeah,
shoulder.
when you don't
blade.
put it on
He
your
didn't
shoulder.
have it on his shoulder, and it was
Yeah.
a 3.5 inch too.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I tell them, man, the tighter you have it, the less it kicks.
As long as you got it up.
Get
I
it in the
never
right
even
spot.
feel it when I
Yeah.
shoot it.
If you get it in the right spot.
But
When you don't have it in the right spot.
we're getting to it is 7
But,
o'clock.
you know, that's turkey
Yeah,
hunting.
It's time. We up, Janet? All right. Hello, everybody. I'm Anthony Landreth.
I'm Bubba Spencer.
And I'm Keith Haywood.
Hey, we want to welcome y'all to another Tennessee Outside Show coming to you live from the Dr. R.E. Wilhite Building right here at the Hardeman County Agribusiness Center in Bolivar, Tennessee. And as we always say, if you hunt and fish in Tennessee, this is a show you need to watch because turkey season in full swing. We had a guy break a record on the paddlefish the other day.
Man, spring is sprung.
I'm telling you, and that was, let me see, on Cherokee Lake, Henry Dyer, 149 pounds, almost 80 inches long, which is just about 4 inches shy, 7 feet, and 44 3/8 inch girth. But that's a big fish. I'm just going to tell you. Hey, we will be taking questions tonight. Don't know what we're going to be giving away next, but any question or comment, you'll go into the drawing for whatever we're going to give away next.
We do need to come up with something.
Yeah, we're working on some stuff right now, and hope that comes up pretty quick. I can tell you that. Keith, let's give us a quick sponsor break, if you don't mind, right there.
We have Apex Outdoor Rewards. That's our premier sponsor. Deception Scents, Baker Glass Shop, Second Amendment Outdoors, Big Hill Pond Boat Sales and Repair, Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency, Lynnhurst Family Resort, Prym1 Camo, Threeway Processing, Wildlife Addiction Food Plot Services, and as always, big shout out to Brian Harford and the Crappie Addicts Facebook page.
That's exactly right. Hey, and also the Facebook groups that seem like they're growing every week, but still want to give a shout out to the original Tennessee Deer Hunters that West Stone started, almost 72,000 members. It is back online, up and going, and I don't think you knew that, did you?
I didn't know.
Yeah, it was off for, 8 months or more. But, it is back on right now. West TN Deer Hunters, Tennessee Woods and Waters, Tennessee Turkey Hunters, Tennessee Bow Hunters, Tennessee Valley Sportsmen, Real West Tennessee Sportsmen, East Tennessee Deer Hunters, Tennessee Rivers and Lakes, Bow Hunters of America, True Hunters and Anglers, Southern Boys 870s, Hunting for Connections, TN Outdoor Info, Tennessee Hunting and Fishing Report, Hunt Swaps of America, Tennessee Outdoors and Hunting, Tennessee Small Game Hunting and Fishing, and Middle Tennessee Coyote Hunters.
All right, we have Kentucky Whitetail Hunters established in August of 2015, West Kentucky Deer Hunters, Do a Country Jig, Pickwick Lake Anglers, Crappie Cats, Bass and more, Gamekeepers and Food Plots, Pickwick Lake Fishing Reports, Turkey South, Backwood Hunting and Fishing, Wildlife Hunter Association, Wildlife Snipers, Feathers and Furs, Camel Thugs Outdoor, Blumpville Tennessee Deer Hunters, Back to the Roots Outdoors, Down to Earth Hunting, Tennessee turkey hunters, and Hatchie River fishing bank poles or bank pole fishing.
Yep. Hey, I want to give a shout out, and not tooting our own horn, but the Deception outdoor team.
Y'all put it on.
We smoked them.
Y'all put it
you
on.
know, I know. You know, Chase Gregg is watching us from East Tennessee. He's one of the team members. I know him and his buddy killed one. Courtney and Tucker Smalley, they went up and hunted with Bob Van Treese over on the other side of Lebanon, and they smoked them, got them all on film. I know myself and Chris Jack were tagged out. I took my buddy Glenn Moore Saturday.
Yeah.
He never killed a turkey, and he killed one.
Yeah, Glenn pretty excited about it.
He was. Yeah, he said he talked to you at church. Yeah. He was pumped up. And I got tickled. Glenn, I got to tell on you, but, you know, when he shot that bird with my gun, and he had to, it was getting at a bad angle on him, and when he shot, first thing he said, "Oh, my arm." And when I saw him forward place a while ago, he showed me the bruise on it, which y'all saw the picture of it.
But you know, sometimes shooting turkeys, you get put in odd situations. You get all, I've been hitting the face and the mouth and everything else. But
I about had my nose broke about 4 years ago when I shot one I named Tom Gotti. I had to shoot him gangster style. And when I shot, blood shot out all of them.
I've shot them left-handed, looking at, you know, just bad situations. That's just turkey hunting.
I know, Keith.
Well, I've been tearing up tractors and tearing up everything I had, it seemed like, all weekend, but I got everything. I'm getting caught up. I'm getting there.
Well, I'm hoping Sunday we can get you on one.
The good thing is I'm going to have a whole posse of people from the team that can go help. So.
Yeah, I hope so. Because, I mean, I know I'm going. Well, you just say when. You know, talking about bad angle, Chris Jack, he was talking about hunting in Wayne County. You know how steep those hills are over there. Said he was just laid back, kind of taking a nap. And said he woke up when he heard one go to putting. And it was three longbeards standing right beside him. He had his gun across his lap. And he said they were so close, he just pushed his safety off and shot and hit one and got him right there. Yeah. That's how close it was.
Well, a lot of times when they're close like that, your pattern's so small.
That's right.
You can miss them.
That's why we tell people if they're close, aim for the body.
Yeah, I don't like them to be any closer than 20. You know, if they coming in and you got a
little pattern,
throw a little out there. You get closer than 20, then, and man, you know, if you turkey hunt long enough, you end up shooting them, you know, from here to that wall.
That's right.
But you'd rather not if you can keep from it.
And the one thing that helps too, when you get older like we are, man, if you got one of them laser red dots on there, we all shoot a vortex venom, and you know, I mean, I don't get nothing for saying that because it's a bunch of them out there, but we pretty much all got vortex venoms. And I tell you, it changes the game.
Yeah.
That and TSS are game changers, period.
Yeah, well, red dot, TSS, yes. You know, we use a Browning. But, man, all of those new ones are just game changers. And a lot of that is you don't have to put your face all the way down and look down the side bead. A lot of times on the shotguns, if you're just looking down the sight bead, you got half of what you're looking at covered up.
That's right.
Yeah.
With the red dots, you can see below it, above it, to the side.
You can basically precision pinpoint.
And you don't have to. You can be here or you can be here. You don't have to be just looking straight down the barrel. It makes everything a lot easier.
It's kind of like Janet's got a handgun with Crimson Trace grip on it. You know, but it is a laser. You know, you can literally. Have you be laying down and just
put the laser on
wherever that dot is. That's where that bullet's
My wife has one as well.
Yeah. So it don't matter what angle you're in. You know, that's what I told her. That's right.
Business just picked up.
Yeah. Whether you know, a lot of times you know, when that red dot hits you, it may change your mind about doing something.
I guarantee you.
You look down, you see a dot on you.
We also had a buddy kill one 410 today.
Oh, yeah. Roger hunts with the 410.
You know, there's a lot of people going to the 410s.
And 20s. Well, that's what Courtney and Tucker use, 20 gauges up there.
It's just a lighter gun to carry around.
It is.
You can hold it up longer. It has a lot of advantages, especially with TSS.
Yeah, it does. But I also know Roger one day had one get away from me. He said, "I wish I'd had my 12."
Yeah.
And I don't ever want to be in that, so I'm just going to keep carrying my 20.
I do the same. I just keep carrying the 12. I'm used to it.
Me too.
I feel comfortable with it. And you and I have talked about this, whether you're deer hunt or turkey hunt. If you feel comfortable with a gun, you don't necessarily have to always go to the upgrade new gun. Man, I got my deer gun and I have my turkey gun, and I've had my turkey gun for 20-something years.
Me too. I bought the original Super Black Eagle.
Yeah,
and I mean, I've been offered more for it now than I paid for it.
Oh yeah. Well, I've been shooting. My daughter's 27, and I bought my Browning 7 mag before she was born, and I still shoot it every season.
Yeah.
And you know, I take care of it. It still looks just about new.
Well, I know some people that they change, especially rifles during deer season. I want to try me another rifle.
Yeah,
what's wrong with the one you got? I missed a couple last year. Yeah. Well, you know,
stick with something.
But I know some that just want to. Well, I'm going to use a lever action today and a pump or something. But you're better off finding one gun and sticking to it. I can promise you, because the day you change is going to be the day you shoot the biggest buck of your life. And I say, why didn't you carry the one you always used to shooting?
He's talking about guns. On the one that my wife Amy killed, we had the gun in a photograph, and it's a Remington 1187.
Yeah,
it's got the original bottomland camo, and I bet you there was 3 or 4 people that wanted to buy the gun off of the we just put it in the photograph, because I sometimes like to have the weapon in there.
Right.
And she's had it for a long time, and I'm like, be amazed at the people that like, man, would you sell that gun?
Yeah, those are highly sought after.
They are. Yeah.
You know, that's the same way the original Super Black Eagles are. Because every time I lay it beside turkey, every time. I mean, I've been offered $1,500. I think I paid $1,100 for it.
Ronnie Mitchell said, "Congratulations, Amy. Thank you on that, Ronnie. She was proud of that bird."
Oh, I know she was.
Yeah. Just got an invite from our team member. Come up to East Tennessee and hunt.
Really? Yeah. Well, see, I've been talking to him about bears. He specializes in bears.
Hey, that's something I've never done. Well,
I hadn't either, but
that would be awesome.
Yes, it would. It would.
We may have to discuss that.
And I know Parrish right now, he's up with the Bigger Buck Outfitters in Illinois. He's guiding up there for about the next week. He was one of the guides on the Governor's One Shot, and I think it was the most highest success they've ever had. I think he said it was like 83 or 86 killed out of 110 hunters.
Really?
Yeah.
I tell you what, I don't know what it was about this weekend. I don't know if it's just because it was a little later and they've really been going at it for a while, but it just seemed that there was a lot of activity. Lot of harvest.
The numbers show it.
Even the ones that didn't harvest, there's a lot of people that chase birds, but they just seemed like, man, they were on this weekend.
But, we didn't hear a lot of gobbling. Most of the birds we killed, they came in. Now, we may have heard some of them gobble on the roost. Some days we didn't. When I killed yesterday, the only thing I heard on the roost was a soft tree yelp, and then I soft tree yelp back, and then she did, and next thing I know, they was on the ground right in front of me.
Really?
Because I filmed it, and I showed Cody Waddell, a guy here at the Ford place, and today I filmed it narrating it at 15 yards.
Go back to something. We talked about this earlier. We do this a lot. We say soft tree yelp, and somebody might not understand when you said soft tree yelp.
Yeah.
Well, what do you mean when you say soft tree yelp?
Early of the morning. I mean, a lot of times it's still dark.
Yeah.
And I mean, you think of yelping more or less like when you're out there calling, just
it's just that basic, yep,
just pretty loud. But a tree yelp is just, it is.
It's like you're waking up in the morning.
And it's just, it's so, I don't know, it's almost like a little kid just. I mean, you can really you gotta.
If you finish a tree yelp and you think it wasn't loud enough, you're probably just about right.
That's right. Because
that was not very loud.
Because
you're probably just about right.
I got in this. It's a deer house, only 2 feet off the ground, but there's a good food plot in front of me. But it's hills and hollers behind me, so that's where they normally roost.
Yeah.
Well, so when I get in there for turkey hunting, I leave the door cracked open about a foot where I can hear.
Yeah.
And I heard that, and I thought, she is super close. So I got the old. It's the first year they used it. It's one of the most economical calls. I ain't gonna say it's cheap, but it don't cost as much as the others for deception. The MK call. Chris Demington nicknamed it the Monster Killer.
Yeah, y'all been putting it on with.
And I took it out. It's acrylic, and I took it out, and it's like Bubba just said. When I got through calling, I thought it couldn't nothing hear that right outside the window, But she started yelping back at it, and it was like she was on a 6-note yelp, but like her fifth and sixth one, she got pretty loud compared to the first
waking
four.
up a little bit.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then when she did that, all I did is set that call down. I should have raised the windows up, but I didn't, because then it wasn't 3 minutes. One come flying out, and then here come another, and then even on the video, another one comes flying out. But it ended up being 7 hens, 2 jakes, and they was all less than 20 yards from me, and I'm sitting there filming them. And one of the jakes is strutting, and his tail was not like a normal jake. Most of the time, a normal jake, the feathers in the middle are higher than they are on each set. Yeah. But this side, man, it was almost like jack-o'-lantern feathers. They was all, yes, it was different heights for all of them. And but he only had about maybe 1.5 inch beard. But he was out there strutting, and I said, well, dang, must not be another gobbler around. But then all of a sudden, he went out of strut, and he looked over to my right. And I mean, about 14 yards, I could see it coming up the hill. And he never come out of strut. Never. Just so I'm sitting there filming him, and I'm narrating it. And I said, boy, this is a predicament. I don't even have the windows up yet. And the chances of, I got 18 eyes out there looking at me. How am I going to get them up? And he's right there just the whole time. And so finally I said, well, I'm just going to leave. I kept recording. I set it down. And then I was able to get that one window up. And then I turned the camera back. I picked it back up and just set it in the windowsill. And I filmed it. And then I had to wait 2 hours before I could go get him, because the birds didn't leave. And I had 2 or 3 people call me. They said, how big is it? I said, I don't know. All I know, it's an adult bird. They said, why ain't you went out there and got it? I said, because I do not want to educate them other birds. Right. They did not have a clue.
A lot of times when you shoot a gobbler, other gobblers would jump on it, or they'll just ease on off. It's not like shooting deer to a certain extent. They don't have that.
Well, the thing about this too, and the 2 birds I shot this weekend, they never flop.
They never.
That TSS, it goes through and it severs everything.
Yeah. The one my wife killed at 55 yards, it dropped it like it was a daggum hammer hit him, buddy.
That's the way this did.
And it was a pretty good long shot.
When it didn't flop, then those other birds don't have the tendency to come over and whoop at it.
Yeah, usually that flopping encourages.
That's right.
Ones to come over.
And I wonder sometimes if that flopping, if they think he's breeding a hen or something, and they come over there to try to
See, I always just think it's a dominance issue. They're always looking to
take advantage.
Take advantage of a weak man.
It's like kick him while he's down.
When he's down, man, let's get on him, because everybody's looking to climb the hierarchy all the way to the top.
Yeah.
That's just inbred in them.
And actually, for a lot of people don't know, that is the easiest way to double up.
Yes.
Because your percentage of doubling up like that is a lot higher than if you count 1, 2, boom.
We've talked about this, and this is what I told my wife: if 2 come in, you shoot your bird, and then I'll shoot mine. Don't worry about me.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, if you just shoot your bird, the other bird's going to come over there.
That's right.
And get him.
But now, if you're trying to film and you're recording smaller, you can't do that.
She won't give you a gun.
No, I let her shoot it with my gun, and then when the other bird stayed out there, I said, "Here, you film. I'm fixing to shoot that other bird." Well, and then she didn't film it, and she said, "I thought you was just gonna finish mine off." I said, "No, it was already dead,
But I have doubled up in 1, 2, 3.
Oh, I have too.
But in general,
but I have missed that way too.
I'd rather just make sure we get 1 down, and then if the number 2 bird gives its opportunity, I take it out.
Yeah, that is the easiest way.
I know your wife really enjoys deer hunting also. What does she like to fish and all with you too? Or she's just a total outdoorsman?
Yeah, she likes it all. But but she's getting to be like me. It's more the experience, and we got that on our 56 acres. First turkey that we've ever got on our 56 acres. So that's always a little more special than
it sure is.
If you're killing it on your own piece of dirt. And not only that, when she shot the turkey, I was looking at the turkey and looking at my barn at the same time.
And Bubba, how long have you had that piece of ground?
It's just 2016.
So, it's birds all in that area.
Yeah, all them,
but
never.
It's kind of weird how that happens, because I know out there at Glenn's place, he's still got some hanging around. But, we were seeing 30, 40 in that field. But when the farmers come in and spray the fields and put the Roundup and pesticides down, the turkey sightings go
down.
It's not totally gone.
Yeah, but what worked against y'all helped us, because when they sprayed all that around us,
that's right.
I had pasture and I had my food plot,
had bugs
and then here they come.
And that's exactly what helped
and
me.
they come out there and they were out there bugging around, and so
yeah, because I haven't seen a single bird on my place.
Yeah.
wow, we wasn't even going, and then the night before season opened, we were out there messing with puppies, and I was walking to the house, and I was reaching for the door, and I heard him gobble. And I went back and told my wife, I was like, he's just right down there.
So that's why y'all went there.
Well, she went opening day and chased him. Never could get him, but never spooked him.
Yeah.
We went that evening, saw the 4 hens, and roosted him. Never got him, but I saw him in the tree, had him roosted. Then we went back Sunday morning and finally got him. It took a little while, but we hunted him 3 times, but what we hunted smart was we never bumped a hen.
Yeah.
And so we never ever scared anybody.
Yeah.
Even in 3 hunts, and we saw them all 3 times. It just took to the 3rd time to get them.
Well, I'll say I've heard less gobbling this year.
Yeah.
Than I ever have.
Now he gobbled a lot, but
Yeah.
it was just him.
Yeah. You know, and the other thing I noticed of all the birds we kill, you know, most time, especially this time of season, you know, you kill them, you know, their feathers are all gone off their chest from fighting and breeding. Man, I mean, every one of ours look like a perfect specimen to get mounted.
Really?
I mean,
You know, we can get.
I don't know what's
we
up
can
with
get
that.
into the testosterone and testes size of turkeys declining, and that's troublous.
Yeah, it is.
You know, not only is it happening in turkeys, it's happening in most.
and I know
species.
people are posting, they're finding nests, which is common.
Yeah.
You know, like I say, I've told it several times, like 4 or 5 years ago, I filmed 8 poults on April 15th. You know, they look like, I mean, they was with a bearded hen that I had filmed on March 15th being bred right there.
Yeah.
And I'm, you know, it may not have been the same bearded hen because, you know, by looking at the numbers, it was 75 killed already.
Yeah.
You know, that's been checked in.
Well, let's go over. You brought up the nest. What do we do? What do you tell someone if they're hunting today or tomorrow and they come across a nest?
Well, the first thing I tell them is don't disturb it and get out of the area.
Yeah, don't go looking for it, and do not go back and put a trail camera on it. That's just.
I know
that's so
that's hard to
tempting.
do, but you're right though. I agree.
mean, you're just putting forever successful turkey nest that we have out there. It's
putting undue stress on the hen.
It's putting undue stress on the hen. It's inviting light to come on at night when she's out there.
Which might intrigue a predator to go check it out.
And then if you have it, then you're more apt to go back to check it. You just some things are best left. Just leave it be and just.
Well, what about people, Bubba, that's fixing to start bush hogging? You know, what's your thoughts on it? Because I know every year people call me. It's like, man, I found a nest, which I'm not going to lie, I used to years ago. I'd get them and raise them.
Yeah.
I'd incubate them. Don't know more. I don't have any of that stuff. But,
well,
you know, which that's illegal anyway.
Well, first of all, I would suggest bush hogging earlier. You know, bush hogging in February or March, and then let your cover come back up.
Yeah.
But if you are bush hogging this time, there's 2 thoughts. One, you could destroy the nest and hope she goes back and re-nests, but that's risky.
And plus, too, the percentage of her successfully nesting the second time goes way down because, you know, it's normally that first time nesting that has the most success to it.
But if you just, the thing I don't like to do is if you hit it, come up and you know it's there, to bush hog everything but that. Because that's just an objective. If you ever
you just
gone anywhere with dogs and you turn them loose and there's one piece of cover, they naturally go there. Yeah. It's the same way with a coyote, a bobcat, or fox. It's just naturally where they go, or a raccoon. So, you know, man, I would just back off and just hope and then come back later. But if you're bush hogging this time of year, my wife and I had the conversation today, like behind my house where I have that. I like to keep some of it bush hog, but I really don't like to do it before May 15th at the earliest. And even then, I'm in a minefield.
Yeah,
you know, I'm like, man, I'm
bush
just
hog early, so I can
bush hog.
see.
You bush hog early,
yeah,
and then it starts coming back, and it's not too tall. They can get it, you know.
All right, have you found any nests while you've been out on your tractor runs, Keith?
I have not. Yeah.
Of course, you know, majority of those type of nests are going to be in some grass and not just food plot areas. But I have a lot of grass behind my house.
And the thing about that is, it's what's good for nesting is not good for poults.
Right.
A lot of people just don't realize that. That is
and
sure.
A lot of times what's good for hunting turkeys, those big old mature woods, that's not really good for nesting or poults, either one.
That's right.
But it's great for adult birds.
Yeah, it is. What's some other tips you could give to, say, like a beginner, Bubba? We talked about some of them today, and of course, if Tucker was here, he would say, because I kind of got on to him other time, is the other day when we were hunting, it's like anytime a crow starts hollering, I don't care if I'm scratching my hair or head or if I'm chewing, as Chris Jack's always getting on to me because I'm always eating pretzels or something.
Yeah, stop.
I stop doing everything. Even if I'm walking in a field, I'll stop because a lot of times that turkey's going to gobble right after a crow, pileated woodpecker. Of course,
a jet come flying by.
It was one come by, Jake breaking a truck, and a bird gobbled the other day.
The other day when we're doing a horse nickered, one of my horse nickered, and he gobbled on that turkey we killed at the horse.
I know. I used to hunt this one farm. I kept a Canada goose call in my vest.
I used to keep a peacock call.
Yeah, I still got one in my vest, peacock call. Because you can kind of do a pileated woodpecker with it too.
Okay.
I guess it's pileated, pileated, whatever they call it.
I don't think it's really makes any difference if what the animal. It's just the shock. You could just do a real loud, and then that could work sometimes just as well as anything.
Well, I've told it on here before. I got off work at DeVilbiss one night, and I'd rode through there going to work that day, and I saw two longbeards up there right off Concord Trail. And so when I got off work, I rode through there about 12:30, and I had one of them little air horns, the little bitty ones, like a lot of people keep in their boat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that'll work.
I got out, and of course, I'm listening over here, so I held out, and I kind of made the sound wave go back this way. And as soon as I did, a bird gobbled. He couldn't have been 40 yards from me.
Wow.
And so he was really where I was wanting to park the next morning. And so I had to park probably 200 yards on down the road. And I got there real early, and I slipped back. And, I mean, he flew out of the tree within 20 yards, and he was dead in 45 seconds after he hit the ground.
He's talking about little hints. I was talking to Steve Turpin yesterday.
I noticed he's killed a couple already, too.
Yeah.
He's watching.
I think.
Yeah. Hey, Steve.
Steve.
Congrats on your bird.
Steve hunted about 45 minutes, and he was limited out.
Yes.
It didn't take him long.
Right.
We were talking about when you go with someone that's experienced, and they say, be ready. The bird's right over there. A lot of times, if you're not experienced and you don't hear the turkey in the next 5 or 10 or 15 or 30 minutes, you think he's gone. Well, if the person you're with experienced, man, he's right over there. He's right over there somewhere. There's a good chance.
Yeah.
And, people, it takes a long time. They're on turkey time, and they don't necessarily get out of there. They can just be right over there doing their turkey thing and just. So you really need to listen to the person you're with. Listen to what they say. They're not just saying that.
Yeah, because if they've killed a bunch of turkeys.
They killed a bunch of turkeys.
It's not by accident that they killed that many turkeys. So they know something.
Even we had to readjust, Amy and I. And we just there was a little ridge, and we were on the left, and I needed to get to that other side. And I told her, I'm like, man, I don't feel real comfortable doing this, but let's just try to do it quickly and hope it goes well. Man, got it readjusted. And man, we hadn't been readjusted. 1 minute, here they come out. I knew they were just right over there. Yeah. But I really need to get over that lip to get a different field of view. And it worked out.
What you got, Jane?
I was going to say, Steve Turpin said that he had one double gobble once at an ice cream truck jingle.
There you go.
I can
ice cream truck jingle.
Yeah. A lot of times, anything like that, will do that.
If you live on Van Buren, there's an ambulance that comes down it every day with a siren. If you're out there turkey hunting and that siren's coming, you need to pause and listen.
That buddy of mine said that he'd clap. And then make them gobble.
Yeah.
Well, I know Thunder will.
Thunder will.
Dang,
Thunder's probably about the best. I think,
it is.
Shot gobbling.
It may not be safest time to be out there, but I mean, I've killed a couple in some storms. One, I started out wading this little creek, sneaking up onto a toll road one day on Kim Turner's place, and it was raining so hard, me and Mark Foote, and you could see the birds gobbling. It was raining so hard we couldn't even hear them.
Yeah, Bob.
And by the time I got to where I could raise up and kill one, I was in water knee deep.
Yeah.
Well, think about it. When it's stormy and stuff like that, you can get away with movement.
No, that's right. You sure can.
You can get away with some movement. And you know, with turkeys, you never know if you can just move freely and they just look. And other times, just the slightest little.
Yeah, I got busted one time just moving my finger
just
from the side of the gun into the trigger hole.
And sometimes,
yes,
they're out
and that's the only thing I moved. Everything else, I couldn't move.
And other times, you could just move and they seem not to pay any attention to it.
Another tip. Terry Wharton the other night, he talked about that, but a lot of people may not know it, but I know it's automatic anytime we go, because Chris Jack, he's going to owl, Hoot's going to owl, yep. but when you're out, you know, right at daylight and you're trying to find where they are, you know, if you didn't roost one that night or anything, you know, don't stand right beside that person that's doing that. You know, we may get 20, 30 yards from each other. Mm-hmm. Because if you're standing right there beside the person that's owling, and if that bird gobbles, chances are you're not going to hear it right after he does that. Okay. So you get away. I like to turn my back to him is what I like to do.
Something about not having that sound coming right into your ear. Yeah.
Because Hoot is notorious. He can hear them, but I get tickled, which, you know, he's fixing to come back. I think every hunter he's had busted a turkey, but his last one, I think, missed one. But Hoot, when he hears one and I hear it, he turns around. You know, he's got that facial expression. And he's always pointing the wrong way every time. I said, Hoot, I don't know how you got out there. Because your direction of where they are. He said, where is he? I said, let me hear him one more time.
But, you know, it seems like the older I've got, it's probably my hearing is not as good. Man, I get confused on where they are. I'm like, I heard them, but I'm not really sure.
Well, if he gobbles that second time, I'm honed in on him pretty good.
Well, what's good if you have two people and you both agree.
Oh yeah.
And what's bad is when one gobbles and y'all both point the opposite direction.
Yeah.
You're like, well,
most of the time, in my game, if I say he's this way, they're gonna go the way I'm gonna go. Hey, it's time for a break. I can't believe it's done got that much. Hey, Apex Outdoor Rewards, they are a premier sponsor, and the Spring Turkey Challenge is going on right now, and it is not too late to sign up. It's going live in Alabama, Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, New York, North Carolina, Ohio, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, Virginia, West Virginia, and Wisconsin. They reduced it from $125 down to $75. There's weekly giveaways, and they're giving away nice prizes every week, I think up till first week of June. But when you enter, first time enter, you get this turkey tool. It can tote one out, measures your beard and spurs, which you have to do for the competition. It's even got a digital scale right here that weighs your bird for you. So the scoring system is 1 times the weight, 2 times the beards, and 10 times the spur length. But you can go to apexoutdoorrewards.com and sign up. Also, Deception Scents. Like I say, Paris, he's up turkey guiding in Illinois right now, but they have a complete line of scent eliminating products. We've got 2 of them up here, but they have more than that. They got Pure RV, Pure 100, Fast Gas, and there's every version. They are selling the fire out of turkey calls right now, I'm going to tell you. Mouth calls, box calls, pot calls, deer calls. I mean, they're doing it all, and they're in the process of developing other products. Bill Dance, he's a big sponsor of the Pure Marine. You can get it, you can order any of their stuff at deceptionoutdoors.com. Shields, Amazon, Pure Marine's in over 2,000 Walmarts as we speak. So go check them out.
It's easy to find.
Yes.
It's very simple.
It is. Hey, and Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency, go to www.tnwildlife.org for information, and be sure to follow TWR on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Three-Way Processing. Talk to David anymore?
I started calling him on the way over here. Matter of fact, I picked up my phone to do it, and my wife called, and then I just didn't do it. So.
Well, it looks like he has maybe gotten a place out by the airport in Madison County. He still had to just meet with some officials to go over some fine details. But like I say, tell him every week, as soon as it gets it ironed out, he's coming on the show to talk about it. So, all right, Keith, what you got, bro?
All right, buddy. I have Big Hill Pond Boat Sales and Repair. Go see Kenny Fortune for all your boating needs, sales, or repair. He also has firearms and fishing tackle. Contact Kenny at 731-645-4384, and he is located at 9282 Highway 57 in Raymore, Tennessee. We have Baker Glass Shop. Stop by and see Corey Madden for all your glass needs. Auto, big trucks, heavy machinery. Contact Corey at 731-658-4510, and he's located at 321 East Market Street here in Bolivar. I'm actually giving him a call the other day.
Yeah. He fixes a lot of stuff like that.
I probably should have called
for a lot of the sawmills and loggers.
Yeah. Second Amendment Outdoors, your one-stop shopping for all your outdoor needs. Guns, ammo, fishing tackle, clothes, boots, and much more. Mark Austin and his great staff will take good care of you. Contact Mark at 662-594-8687, and he's located at 2204A Highway 72 West in Corinth, Mississippi. We have Lynnhurst Family Resort. Lynnhurst is located on the Blood River and inlet of Kentucky Lake. You can stay on one of their cabins, condos, in the motel, or at one of their campsites. They also have pontoons, jet skis, and golf cart rentals. Book by calling Dennis Helmuth at 270-436-2345 or 606-341-3399. We have Prym1 Camo. You had some Prym1 on the other day, didn't you?
Sure did.
I did
Prym1
too.
Camo, the ultimate concealment solutions for all the outdoorsmen and women that need to blend into their surroundings. Go to Prym1Camo.com and check out all of their products. Their 20% off code is HERO1.
And they've been running a 40% off code. That which would be better than that, yes.
You need to check them out. Definitely, you said the camo looks great.
Yes.
I've seen it on all y'all.
Yep.
Then you have myself, which is Wildlife Addiction Food Plot Services. You can reach me at 731-780-HUNT, which is 4868, or 731-780-6426. And we offer a full line of food plot services, bush hogging, spraying, fertilizing, farm consulting, you name it, we can do it, and we are wide open right now. And speaking of that, I've got some really good-looking clover. I need to do a little bush hogging. I've got some grass growing, but it looks great, and it's time to get some fertilizer on some of that stuff.
And with the rain coming in this week,
that'd be a great time to do it.
Yeah.
Be a perfect time to do it.
And it looks like next week,
it might really,
about 3 or 4 days of rain scheduled.
If you're going to get it, it'd probably be best to try to get it in the next couple of days.
That's right.
Especially, man, this time that clover can really start popping with just a little
Keith,
bit of help.
I want to give a shout out to you. You're going to be one of the sponsors on the Deception Outdoor Show, aren't you?
That's correct. Yes, I'm going to be one of the sponsors.
Just, I worked on one today. We're going to work on one when we go to Wisconsin because see Jack, Courtney, and I are going up there with the Fishing Magician in July sometime. Really looking forward to. I never caught salmon and steelhead, so I'm looking forward to go up there and do that.
That's gonna be fun. I guess maybe get enough folks. We'll have to buy more equipment. And get out there and get them done. Right now, it is what it is. It's that time of year where the weather is very unpredictable and we get a lot of rain, so I try not to book it so much that I can't get to it.
Yeah.
But then I leave some room for some people that throw in a call, because I've had over the last couple of days, because I'm planting sunflower right now.
Yeah.
And I've been lucky that they're located in my county, and I can basically drive my tractor from my house to where they are within 10 minutes. So that makes it a lot easier.
Now, how long would you want to plant sunflower up to?
I want to get it's 110 days.
110 days on sunflower.
I really like to get it in, before the second week of May.
Before the second week of May.
Yeah, that
so
way.
So you still got a little time.
I've still got some time. Yeah, and then, but you can still get it in. My biggest thing with sunflower is I want it to dry out good and be dead.
Yes.
And well matured
for
those few weeks before season starts.
Yep.
That's the main thing on it.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you wait later, it stays greener and it's harder to get it.
That's right. Where my beans and the corn can wait just a little bit longer.
Well, Keith, how far would you go Have you gone up around Nashville to do some stuff?
I have. Matter of fact, I've got about 2 hours away down in Mississippi. I'm doing a pretty good sized place for them, actually, some sunflower. And it's going to be kind of a 2-trip there because I'm doing a sunflower field for them, and then I'm going back and doing some beans and corn for them.
Okay, later on.
So yeah, a couple hours away is no problem.
Okay.
I've got the hauling capacity of getting a lot of stuff down there at one time.
Okay, because I've had 2 or 3 to ask me that. How far will your buddy go to do food plots?
Right.
That makes a difference if you can get everything. You got to have a big enough trailer where you can load all your pieces of equipment on there. It makes a huge difference.
So I can get, when it's time to spray, I can get all the water I need, or most of the water I need to where I'm going. I have extra tanks. When it's time to plant, I can carry planter, tiller. I can carry several pieces of equipment at one time.
Yeah. What you got? Let me see.
No, this is yours.
Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah.
Y'all got special notes.
Oh, yeah. See, I need to put on a local crappie tournament trail together somewhere. Randy, I'm going to tell you, I would love to do that, but I am so busy, I don't have time to do that anymore. And I'm serious. I don't. I really don't. But I would love to do it, but I'd have to team up with somebody good, old Calvin. He'd have to be my partner. I wouldn't want to be in it with nobody else. Because Calvin, he's a bad dude. Especially if we're in the Hatch Bottom. I can just tell you that.
Dad Bannister wants to go hunting with me, and I'm like, Dad, we need to hook up and go one day. We just need to do that.
What else you got? What's that right there, Bubba?
It's talking about, have you ever seen a big hen and all fanned out beat the heck out of your decoy?
Yes, yeah. I've got a video of a hen strutting, but the thing is, this is what got me, and I've showed that video to several people.
Yeah.
It was almost like she was courting that hen, not like to show dominance over her, because I've seen that.
She might have had some hormonal issues.
Because, and you could even tell in the video when I filmed her, you can tell she's like spitting and drumming, basically, just like a gobbler would.
She might have had some hormone issues, made her.
Yeah, it may be, but
testosterone started acting a little more mellish.
But yeah, I've seen hens blow up like that, and
sometimes
decoy.
Was talking about some tips. Sometimes if you got a gobbler with a bunch of hens, sometimes you're trying to call the hens, and the gobbler's going to go where the hens are going to go, and sometimes a soft call, and they'll ease and investigate. Sometimes you got to get mad at them, cut at them. You just sort of got to play it by ear and your experience. And sometimes it's all about getting the hens to come your way, and he'll follow them.
I know the other day when I was hunting Glen Moore, we had a hen come in, and she was pissed off.
She was one of those.
So she come in so loud, and so I just got louder to make her more mad, you know.
Sometimes
and she stayed around there, and when she would walk off, I'd call her back up. He'd say, "Man, she's walking right back up here," But but you're right. Sometimes the gobbler may not come, but if you can make that dominant hen, you get her mad, she's going to come up there like, hey, I control this block.
Yeah.
And then he will follow her up there.
Follow her up there. And so sometimes people get too obsessed about what the gobbler's doing and not, especially when he's with some hens.
Because if those hens are going, if they start leaving, he's going to try to follow them as much as he can. Yeah. And, and speaking of that, somebody asked me, it's like, man, I've seen several hens that they'll just run across the field for no reason or be running in the woods. A lot of that is they're getting away from that gobbler.
Yeah.
They do not want that gobbler to know where their nest is, because he'll find them and bust the eggs every time. Mm-hmm. So that's why you see a lot of that. And right now you see a lot of single hens. That's what they're doing. They have nests most of the time right now.
That picture I had today.
Speaking of that, I was in the house yesterday and looked in the front yard and there was a hen.
Really?
Yeah. My wife's like, is there a gobbler out there?
Just
right there.
Hey, a lot of times they will nest around.
I was looking out the window.
Like in a barn lot where it's like they know people's there, but I think they kind of halfway figured out might be safe from a predator.
That's how some of those does get when those bucks start chasing you. Want to come up there around the house.
Yes. Well, a lot of fawns, they'll go right up in your flower bed and drop a fawn too. They sure will.
How can you tell if it's a bearded hen?
She'll have a beard on her.
Well,
that's
first of all, you got to be able to differentiate a gobbler.
Is it a hen to begin with?
Yeah. And so some people, I've done it for so long. I look at them and tell. But
right.
But that being said, you can all get a little confused if it's
low light, first thing in the morning,
brush,
especially.
But just because it's a beard, don't mean it's a tom.
That's exactly right.
90% of the time, it's or higher, 95, 99%.
Well, they claim about 1 out of every 100.
So 99%
will have a beard.
99% of the time, it's going to be a gobbler.
Because I mean, just for example, I mean, we're fixing to go into the harvest numbers. So far, it's been 75 bearded hens killed out of 14,632.
I guess, there are certain things you can look at, but probably the head.
I was doing the same thing you're doing.
The head, the color of the bird, the size of the bird, all are indicators how it's acting to determine if it's a go. It does, but they can come and go depending on the excitement.
Yeah, even a hen will still have a little. They'll have a little waddle on it.
They can have a little waddle. I mean, I say it's almost like going to Walmart. You can tell most girls from guys, but we can all be confused.
Right. I know.
You gotta laugh over that
one. And I mean, but the percentage right now is running about 1 in 200.
1 in 200.
But I know the normal stats is about 1 in 100.
Right.
I know one day I had 175 turkeys in the field with me, and it was 8 bearded hens in the bunch.
Yeah. A lot of times, if you get a place that has a bearded hen, they have more than one bearded hen. It seems to be.
And I've always heard
comes and goes.
Don't know if it's true, but bearded hens are more likely to throw off multiple bearded gobblers.
I could see that.
Me too, but
I don't know if
I don't know if that's true, but I've always heard that my whole life.
Of course, so much of what we hear is myths, or it sounds good on paper, but
right.
Actual.
I know I killed a double, a triple, and a quadruple bearded bird before I saw those 8 bearded hens.
Yeah.
I do know that.
Yeah.
Well, Bubba, let's get into the numbers right here.
Yeah, because this is very interesting.
Now, this time I couldn't do it from the same date last year because season opened up late. So what I did, I broke it down of 6 days of hunting, 2 days of juvenile or youth season, and 4 days, which I took these numbers at noon today, but I compared them to the first 4 days of last year.
First 4 days
of the regular season plus the juvenile, so
plus
6 days.
So we're comparing the same number of days.
That's right. And so we're up. Well, we killed 14,632 last year. The first 6 days, including youth season, 10,390. So it's up 4,242, and that translates to 41% on the upside. And the adult birds, that's up a lot more. Out of those 14,632, right at 13,000 of them were adult birds.
And they're just a lot of 2-year-old gobblers.
And we knew that coming into it.
We knew it's going to be just a ton of 2-year-old birds.
I mean, everybody had talked about that. But the exact number as of noon today was 12,938. Last year, the whole day on day 6, it was only 8,666. So that was up 4,272, which is 49%. The Jake harvest, for the overall harvest to be up 40%, the Jake harvest was only up 2.3%.
Yeah.
1,642 Jakes taken this year, its first 6 days. Last year, 1,605. Bearded hens actually dropped. It's been 75 taken this year, 91 last year, the first 6 days. And I don't know how this happens, but the unknowns.
Well, it's usually
probably an error of checking it in. But most time though, every time I done, if you don't fill out that field, it won't let you do it.
So
but it shows it's 55 unknown sex birds taken, and last year 119. But up 41%.
I like to see a low Jake harvest as long as it doesn't correlate to low number of jakes on the landscape.
Right.
Because that's going to be your 2-year-old birds next year.
Yeah.
So
but
that
I'm going to tell you that's only an increase of 2.3% of jakes. You can kind of look at that 2 ways. Well, is it really a lot of jakes on here or not? Or just a whole lot of 2? Now
but
I know.
If you go back to last year, it seemed like at the end of the year there was a lot of jakes harvested.
A bunch of jakes.
And so that's why we got so many 2-year-old birds. And 2-year-old birds are usually the most fun to hunt. They gobble the most.
That's right.
You can get them. They don't make as
They don't make a fool of you as much as an old
like
bird
a 3
will.
and a 4-year-old bird will.
Those old birds make you gray headed.
Yeah.
Were there a lot of them killed on the juvenile hunt on the Jake side? Was trying to wonder, just wondering. If
I forget.
I've got that broke down somewhere. I think this is it right here.
Of course, in that juvenile, there's always a lot more percentage Jakes taken.
Yeah.
Just
Well,
because.
out of this 14,600, the youth hunt was 2190.
Okay.
And the Jakes, it was 712 Jakes kits. So basically only 900 Jakes taken first 4 days.
Yeah.
Well, let's get in the top 15.
Let's go right. We'll start at number 15. Tie between Hawkins and Marshall. Both came in at 228 birds checked in. Marshall was up 25. Hawkins was up 23. Number 14 was Cheatham County, coming in at 229, up 50 from last year. Lincoln County, number 13, 242.
Last year their season wasn't even open.
Wasn't even. So that's a tough one. Number 12, Bedford, 249, up 46 from last year. Number 11 coming in, Humphreys, 269. Last year, 178, up 91. Number 10 here in West Tennessee, Henry County coming in at 271, up almost 100, up even 99 in Henry, number 10. You want to take 9 on up?
Yep. 8th place is tied between Wilson County and Weakley County, 274. Wilson had 245 last year. They're up 29. And Weakley County is up 60. Number 7, Giles County, 278. They wasn't even busting birds legally by this time last year. Sumner County, 287 at number 6, up 82. And then the rest of them are 300 or more. Number 5, Hickman County, 312, with the biggest increase that I saw, up 144 birds from last year.
Yep.
That's a bunch of birds for 6 days to be
Yes,
up 144. So Hickman County, y'all had to have a good hatch the last couple of years for it to be that. Montgomery County, which, Fort Campbell up there, 323, up 90. Dixon, 349, up 67. Maury County, 437, up 34. And Greene County is leading the way, almost 500, 468 birds, up 102.
And that's just a lot of birds on one county in 6 days. That's just
it is
amazing that Greene County
where
is
Greene
just.
County is.
It's way up there.
Give me a town. Do we know what town?
I can't remember.
I don't know a single town.
I know Maury is. I think that's Columbia, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be around there. I don't know if it's Columbia, but it's going to be right around there.
I think
but
it
Greene
is.
County is way up in the northeast.
But
I've been to Greene County.
The thing is, you of course, like me, Facebook, you got, I really couldn't break down a percentage, but a lot of people complaining because it opened up late. Go ahead, Jan. What you got?
Greene County is by Chase, Greg.
Okay, so that's up there close to Newport.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. I was just trying to look it up.
Man, I'd hate to chase some of them turkeys up in them big old hills up there.
But they got a lot of grass up there, a lot of cattle country, a lot of woods and grass. Yeah, it looks real turkey-ish.
Well, I know Chase and his buddy, I know they doubled up the other day, so.
But, you was talking about, a lot of people complaining, but man, I know a ton of people that's limited out.
Me too.
And like an hour hunting one day and an hour hunting the next day, and they're done.
Yeah.
That's right.
They're done.
And I mean, I'm not going to lie, I don't like it. And we talked about it today, Bubba. The percentage of people that actually killed 3 and, it dropped drastically, from the people that killed 2. But, I don't know if it's greedy. I just like hunting, but I'm going to be out there. I've watched 6 hit the ground so far this year, and if I can watch 10 more,
you can still go and take somebody.
That's
else.
Sometimes
that's
what I'm going to do.
worth more.
Yes,
to get somebody else.
I'm going to take Keith.
Yeah, get somebody else.
I'm going to take AJ Ellis, and I'm going to go with AJ.
Yeah.
Jason reached out to me the other day. said that AJ's having a hard time. This bird keeps putting a slip on him. Told him I can't guarantee anything, but you know, sometimes
look at it with a fresh pair of
that's
eyes.
Exactly
And
what I was
look at it
say.
with a ton of experience.
Yeah,
you know, and that changes things too.
It does.
And, you know,
and trail cameras. I mean, I'm telling you, AJ, if you got trail cameras, which I know they do, because they said Jason said he was strutting at 11:30 yesterday in front of it.
Yeah, and you know another thing, and sort of Facebook that puts the pressure on you. You look at Facebook and look like everybody and their brother killed a turkey but you. So then you start trying to push the envelope instead of being patient and calm. And the truth is, you know, it's not a competition. You just take your time and get them when.
Yeah.
And you know, you can take that level of calmness and patience when you go.
Yeah, it's best not to put the peer pressure on yourself.
Yeah.
And I give you.
And that's easy said.
That's hard
and some
to do.
people.
I know.
And some people can do it, and some people can't. You know?
Because, I mean, a good example, I'm not going to call nobody's name, but somebody in her little group had just about all killed turkeys. And she said she told the guys she was hunting with, said, man, there's a Jake right there, and my whole rest of my gang's done killed one. He said, you wonder if I were to take that Jake.
Yeah.
And he said, well, if that Jake makes you happy, and that's what I always say. Yeah. I don't care if you're deer hunting, if a spike will make you happy, you bust it.
That's right.
And but she passed on it. And then a couple hours later, she busted a longbeard, and she said the guy told her, well, I'm glad you passed on that Jake, because that wasn't even a good Jake to shoot. It would, you know, it was just a small Jake.
And you know, I think as you get older, you can get past some of that pressure.
But,
but still, you know, some people, it seems to bother them more than it does other people, whether or not they harvest a bird or not.
Well,
you know.
I'll say one thing. I hunt with Chris Dimon a lot. Call him C-Jack. He's about like myself. If we have to sit in that blind 12 hours a day, we'll do it. You know. Well,
patience kills birds.
That's it. It does.
You know, we talk about a whole lot of things on hunting, and we talk about calling. We talk, you know, the thing we might talk the least about that could be the most important is the patience aspect of it. And you know, especially if you go back in the time when they didn't have a lot of turkeys on the landscapes, those old turkey hunters, talking about the 60s and 70s, now those jokers are patient.
That's right.
Because that's the only way you kill those birds, is patience.
Well, I know I've heard 2 or 3 people that I looked up to that I knew busted turkeys a lot. They said their rule of thumb is whenever they're getting ready to leave or something, when they make that last call, they will sit 1 hour after they make that last call. They don't call no more after that. And even still, sometimes they've got up and got busted where that bird was just sneaking in on them. Because I know the first one I killed the other day, he was, you know, I did hear him gobble on the roost, and I've had 3 or 4 hens that come by me, and of course he doesn't shut up, and I just happened to look, and I mean, he was like James Bond sneaking through them woods, coming up through there. I'm talking just one step and looking, and I hadn't called anymore, you know. And he walked out there. He never knew what hit him when that TSS did. But
you know, he was talking about the patience. I used to talk with an old man named Melvin Gurley back in the old days, and he told me that he caught up 2 gobblers one time. I think it was at LB. It was on public land somewhere. He shot and he missed them, and they went off. He said he just sat there. He sat there for about 2.5 hours, and finally that bird called again. He said he yelled 4 more times, sat there another hour, and called that bird back up and shot and killed it. Wow. Most people just don't have that level of patience when it comes to turkey hunting. And, you know, but we don't seem to really run and gun like we did in the 80s in general.
No.
Some people do, but in general, we're a little more deer hunting, woodsmanship, and not quite as reckless in the woods as we used to be.
Yeah, because I know Chris Jack said it the other day. He said, man, you know, my run and gun days are over. It's nice sitting in these blinds with these chairs, you know, and kick back.
He's got a farm kind of like the one y'all hunted of mine. It's pretty private. There's not.
Yeah, no,
I don't think that there's a lot of pressure.
Yeah,
and I'm sure that makes a ton of difference.
Oh, it does.
You know.
Yeah.
Over there, it's just not really.
And you know, people got to be realistic too. You know, some people are like, man, I don't know why I can't kill no bird. Well, you got to be where the birds are.
Yeah, you got to be.
I mean, that's the number one rule. And if you're where it's a lot of birds are, your chances of killing one's a whole lot better by just being
Yeah.
You know, an average hunter, because, I mean, by no means, out of all my buddies, I consider myself the worst caller of the bunch, you know. But I do know when and what to do.
Right.
And you don't overcall either.
Oh, no, I sure don't overcall.
You know, I'd rather err on the side of less than more.
Yeah. To me, overcalling, you're just educating the birds. And then when you educate them, they don't lose that degree a lot of times.
Yeah.
I mean, they really don't.
Yeah, they have good memory.
Yes, they sure do. So, Keith, I mean, we got a couple minutes left. Anything else? You know, any advice you got people just trying to get something in? I know we talked about get the fertilizer down now.
Get the fertilizer down. If you're planning on, you know, we talked about this a little last week. If you're wanting to do a plot yourself and you're going to do some tilling, like I said before, my rule of thumb is only till 3 inches. Let's keep that dormant seed dormant as we can, so we won't fight weeds.
See, I'd never heard that till last week when you said that. I didn't know that.
You know,
that deep seed bank is full of seeds that couldn't be there for 100 years.
That's right. But then on the flip side of that, people that do a lot of fertilize just simply broadcast without tilling anything. Your nitrogen tends to get down to that deeper level where your P and your K will not. It tends to hang out in that 2-inch or above range, and it's just not getting down there where it needs to be. So there's a fine line there between tilling too deep, turning ground over. What do you do? I would rather turn it over a little deeper if I had to, just to get my nutrients in the ground and then fight a few weeds. But I tend to only go 3 inches.
Okay.
And that works. That is what works best for me, and that's what I advise everybody to do.
Now, if you're doing some disking to get some new growth in a non-food plot area for where it's a sagegrass field, sometimes it's good to go deep, and then you can change up the biodiversity on the landscape, especially for the bugs and the poach and that kind of stuff that's coming up.
All right, next week we're going to do a short clip.
Okay, and I'll bring it.
Do by pH and stuff.
Yep,
we can do that.
We're going to show y'all how to test for your pH.
We can get some soil, and we can do a full. You know, we can sit here while it's doing it. We can be working the show while it's.
I'm going to get it out of my food plot if you don't care.
Perfect.
Okay.
So is it going to be on YouTube, or are we going to put it on here?
Both.
Both.
Probably talk about it on both. Yeah. Yep. Sure will.
Clip.
Yeah.
The clip will be on YouTube, but we're going to do some stuff here on the show as far as the test results come in.
So they'll know what to look for.
That's right.
Also, too, next week, I meant to say something about the pre-show meeting. It looks like Duck will be sitting in with us next week.
Awesome. He called me today.
Yeah, he tell you about it.
Well, he's wanting some stuff done. We're going to run down to his farm
well, he's coming up either Saturday or Sunday. Going to be here all next week, and he said, "Man, if y'all don't have guests next week, I'd like to come sit in with y'all." You know, and old Duck, he could tell us some stuff too, because I think, you know, he's actually missed 2 or 3 birds. You know, and and he don't hide it. You know, he went Facebook Live talking about it. You know, I mean, but the thing is,
he shoots from the hip. There's no doubt.
It happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it does.
Janet.
Decoy or no decoy?
Man,
we was going to talk about that.
Yeah, we sure did, even though it's 1 minute over. Yeah. We'll take a couple minutes to talk
let's talk about that.
You know, I've always said, now this is my opinion, normally if the season's that open like it normally does the first Saturday in April most of the time, you know, I might use the strutter decoy the first week to 10 days, max. That's it. And I know Glenn and I hunting the other day, the first gobbler to come out, he did not like that decoy.
Yeah.
Same way when Courtney and Tucker and I was hunting. The first 2 that come out, they got coming around from that bottom corner, and they saw that decoy, and that was it. Shut up, didn't hear him. Now, the one Tucker killed was I feel like he was a dominant bird because he didn't care. He runs straight to that decoy.
Yeah.
But right now, personally, I won't put a strutter out no more. I just won't do it. At this point, I don't even really like putting a hen out.
The only reason I do, if you've got a kid that we really need to be in a blind where we don't have a lot of movement, that you figure it might really need to come in there, that you could run the bird off, but it comes in there.
Yeah.
Focused on it
and let a kid get away with a little more movement.
That's
and
right.
Stuff.
Because
but it is a risk. But if I was a seasoned turkey hunter, I would not.
Yeah.
I'd not be a strutter decoy.
Me either. But so that's now that could change too in what area of the state you're in.
Yeah, and it could change too if you're after a specific bird that keeps giving you the slip for whatever reason, you can try different things. Think outside the box.
Yeah.
Try something a little different than you normally do.
I'll just share this. I know one time where I was hunting, it was two big birds up there. They come down the same road for like 5 mornings in a row. But if I called or if it was a decoy out, they would see them or hear me. They would turn around and leave.
Yeah.
And then one day I had them coming right to me about 80 yards away. And some real hens walked out, and they scared, and they run off. So finally on the 5th day, I went up there and sat right where the road come into the field.
Yeah.
And like clockwork, between 9 and 10 o'clock, they come walking down, and I busted one.
Yeah.
You know,
But-
I have put a gobbler on one side of the field and the hen on the other, and be way down here with the hen. You know, I've tried you just think outside the box and really start coming up. Of course, it could go up there, and you'd be like, I should have been up there. But, you know, if you got that one bird that you've hunted them the last 4 days and you give you the slip
right.
every day, you start up and think, let's
And
try something different.
It's so many people I know that every year they'll have, or maybe not every year because those kind of hard to find, but you'll run upon one for you know, I've had 4 different ones. It just took me over 20 days to nail that bird. It
and, you know, a lot of times it comes down to you just got to stop calling. You got to
be lucky and know where he is.
Go where he is, scratching the leaves, do something outside the box other than call.
Find your strut zone. If you can do that.
Woodsmanship sometimes is what kills those 3 and 4 year old birds.
Keith, any last words, brother?
No, man. I was reading something Courtney Knopf. It's going to be a beautiful rest of the week. I wish I could go.
Get that fertilizer out if you want to put on some of those food plots before this rain on Friday.
All right, folks, that's going to wrap us up. Appreciate y'all watching, and appreciate everybody that shares the show, watches all the Facebook groups, and it'll be a hoot next week with old Duck Man here.
Yeah, buddy.
He ain't been here in a while. He's been down
fun
Texas. He won't know how to act, come back to Tennessee. So we'll see y'all next week, same time. Thanks. Bye.